Tabitha makes a return to the town. Some absolute nobody dies from the colony house, and we have no idea what has just happened to Randall. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment for another From review. This one, Season 3, Episode 4. It was called There and Back Again, and just like most episodes of From, it kind of left me looking for answers by the end of it.
Absolutely, you want it more, and it's better to want more than want less. But you look at it, and I think they tried to cram too much into episode 4. I feel like episode 3 was a part 1 of 2, but then in episode 4 it kind of felt more like a part 2 of 3.
To me, that's the kind of biggest difference, I think, between Season 1 and Season 2 and 3. I feel like in Season 1, a lot of the episodes ended when I think there was a good time to end the episode, and I was content with what I got. In Season 2 and in Season 3, it's not that I necessarily think they're bad episodes, but I just think they always end the episode with leaving you wanting more.
Yeah, I think the episode felt a little bit disjointed. It kind of felt like all over the place. Like, do you really need Victor and what's her name, Sarah? You know, do you need, we're going to build a fort. Do you really need...
It was just a bunch of nothing that we've really seen before, isn't it? Victor's flashbacks, people we met 40 years... The Victor stuff's a bit old for me. I think they need to go into the new chapter and have him reunite with his father. We've already done old Victor stuff.
The problem with this is, though, that they need to occupy him while his father gets into the town, and they can't interact. He needed to go... we need to build a fort. We're talking about a 45-year-old man. See if his father rocked up and Victor's in the basement building a fort. He'd do a 180.
Ambulance, get me out of here. So, let's talk about it. So, we begin with the ambulance, and we see obviously that they have, came across this tree that we've seen in the last episode. Tabitha's like, oh no, there's going to be a town. You got to keep going. But the ambulance, they ain't listening to her because, of course, they never listen to her, or they never listen to people in these scenarios. And I mean, you're right. It's like, why doesn't Tabitha explain exactly what's going to happen, right? Take a breath, explain calmly, and maybe she could have saved everybody's life here.
Yeah, it's like, I get it, right? It's alright me and you watching a fake TV show, but when you're actually in the moment, maybe it's hard. But all she's got to say is, we're going to get to a town, right? It's going to be ran by a sheriff called Boyd. There's a diner. It's ran by Tia Chen. She doesn't obviously know she's passed away. There's a guy called Kenny. He's the deputy. There's a guy called Victor, who's this guy's son, who he's never met because he's trapped in this world. And there's monsters that kill you. And trust me, if you get close, you're going to die. If she names enough people by the time they get there and they interact, it's obvious that she couldn't have made this up. But see, when you there's a town and you just need to keep driving, it's like, no wonder they get out, man.
Yeah, but they don't like Tabitha basically kind of freaking out, so they decide to handcuff her inside the ambulance. Ethan gets a phone call. There's a voice over the phone saying it's his little brother, his dead brother, and they're saying that Tabitha will need to be rescued from an ambulance. And Jim takes the phone and he smashes the phone up. He's not happy here. Doesn't want his son talking to these voices. And you know what? I don't want his son talking to these voices either. I think that the less we get of Ethan and Julie, the better.
Yeah, I feel like they're teasing something with Julie, Randall. But see, they're saying like Julie, Randall, and the Christie's girlfriend, right?
Mariella, but she's not showing any signs, really. She's just getting on.
And I think they need to show a bit of consistency. Julie's been acting weird, but she really been acting weird? They're saying she's acting weird.
Ethan said she's acting weird, but we haven't really seen it, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean...
all she's been doing is really scolding Jim and acting like she's the best fucking...
Are those three going to turn into monsters? Is that the next... I mean, it looks like maybe one of the three is definitely going to go down that road, but...
I don't know, but Victor builds his fort. He reveals to Sarah that as a child he collected the belongings of the deceased, and he uses them to try and remember the past. So he's going to try and do the same thing again.
But he does this, and it's like, this guy called Christopher had Jasper the doll, and it's like, we've seen this doll in season 1. There was no fucking mention of this.
Yeah, but I don't see what any of this is doing. And by the end of it, he's like, "Oh, we need to find this. It'll give us the answers." It just seems like they're drawing it. Oh, let's pretend that there's a clue over here, and it's
Do you
like,
know? I honestly think Victor won't give a fuck about his father. I think he'll barely remember him.
I won't believe it's him.
Aye, something like that.
I can't see a big happy reunion, emotional.
I just don't see a scene where Victor like
Oh, the
is
bond.
overcome with emotion. It's like, oh, Dad, you know, he was like 5 years old when he left him.
Yeah.
He's been fucking traumatized by this place.
Yeah, I can maybe see it more from his father's standpoint, but not really Victor. At the camping, at the log cabins, I mean, Kenny, Jade, and Christy were remembering Tay Cheng, but that was basically all they did.
Yeah,
It was a very lackluster appearance from them. We made a video guessing who would die for that group, and literally nothing happened.
we did. I feel like they needed to show this group though because obviously Christie's injured. But honestly, this episode could have done without these. The episode could have done without Victor in this group. I feel like Victor could have been with these guys to occupy him rather than create two separate stories.
It just feels like this whole Victor Fort thing was just done so that they could keep him and his father separated for another episode, isn't it?
Yeah, no,
That's the only reason he wasn't at the colony house.
absolutely. But we may as well get back to Victor's father Henry and Tabitha as they arrive in the town. Right. So, what do we think of this? Tabitha is back in. I think it's far too soon. I don't think this was bad by any means. I thought this was by far the best part of the episode, like this whole action sequence. But it seems a wee bit premature. I'll say that.
Yeah, she gets in, she's like, right, you got to stop here, and they're basically saying, nah, look, you're crazy, you stop this, you sit down, there's a woman laying in the road, the two ambulance men, the two medics, like, oh, we got to go and help her. Tabitha's like, no, don't be helping her, we got to get to safety, we got to get inside a house. They don't listen, they go to help the woman obviously turns out to be a monster, kills them both, police officer looks on, goes, stand back, don't come any closer. This is like some Resident Evil shit in the early games when you've already seen a zombie, like, you know, fucking...
Yeah, but at least zombies, like, resemble, like, a part of human. This thing had, like, teeth bigger than Victor's lunchbox, man.
Very true. It's coming towards her, she's shooting. Is her name Acosta?
I think it might be.
I think it's Acosta.
But see, Tabitha, she's got to word it better, right? She can't be like, oh no, we need to get to safety. She should say, if you go near that body in the road, you will die. It will rip you to shreds.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not blaming Tabitha for any deaths here, but she could have done a better job, surely.
Aye. But anyway, I mean, this was a pretty good action sequence. You have Acosta here, whatever her name is, the cop, laying waste. But
shooting bullets, but nothing's happening.
Yeah, she's handcuffed Tabitha at this point. She runs off. She heads towards Colony House. The gunshots trigger Jim, Boyd, and Randall to run out of the Matthews house. Julie's looking after Ethan. They get to the ambulance. Obviously, it's a pretty big moment because Jim's reunited with Tabitha. But again, it's like it's only been like 4 episodes since they've seen each other.
Yeah.
It's not the 2-season gap.
Now, before this happened, you had Boyd and Randall in the bus. Randall was explaining to Boyd that the creatures seem to be on some sort of routine where they do the same thing. They perform the same moves and antics and, locations and routes.
5 moves to do.
So they do the same thing every night, but Randall was saying tonight they're not doing it. So, I mean, that would tell you the creatures were expecting the ambulance, and I think when you look at the ambush almost, then that confirms that.
Yeah, but again, this is at least this episode, there was actually a lot of communication flowing. But, like, Randall's telling Boyd stuff that Boyd would have wasted an episode gathering. Like, Randall sleeps in the bus. He slept in the bus for, like, 14 episodes. Why not have a conversation with him? What patterns have you seen, Randall? But Randall was the one that had to bring it up himself rather than Boyd questioning him. I think it highlights the communication problem.
Maybe Boyd didn't think Randall really wanted to help. Boyd is... they open the back of the ambulance and Boyd and Jim obviously see Tabitha and... what's his father's name again? Henry.
But again, this whole episode, she doesn't even mention that's Victor's dad.
Yeah, so they try and get her out, but obviously she's handcuffed. Randall runs back to the bus. He gets the toolkit, but he keeps getting like attacked by lotuses or whatever.
Lucas.
Lucas. Then he throws the tool case to Boyd, but he falls down. He gets surrounded. Boyd then tries to get in the ambulance to drive off, but the key's not in there. One of the creatures has got the key. They offer the key to Boyd, but they say, you can't save them all, Boyd, and you can take the key, but we get to keep Randall. And then Boyd reluctantly just snatches the key and it says, fuck you all. So, yeah. Boyd kind of just leaves Randall behind, and Randall's screaming, don't you leave me, Boyd! And he does leave him, and then we see the creatures swarm in to Randall. Doesn't look good for Randall at this point. Acosta then runs the colony house. More creatures coming from the left, coming from the right, coming from everywhere. She's firing bullets, and one of the rounds goes through a window, and it hits Nikki, who ends up dying. Nikki just, bleeds out, dies. Acosta makes it inside the house. She obviously feels bad for what she's done. She apologises. Later on, Boyd reaches there with Jim and Tabitha. Everyone's shocked to see Tabitha, but they kind of just don't do anything. And Jim's like, have you got a room? And then Tabitha and Jim go up to the room. I mean, I get it, that's your wife, but surely, there should be Tabitha, what's happened?
Yeah, Boyd and...
Boyd should be like, no, hold on, Jim, I know you want time to... But, I mean, we need to...
Also, I thought the Acosta shooting, it's like... It maybe would have made more sense if she had, some form of assault rifle. Automatic weapon. A spraying weapon. The bullet that hit Nikki just makes no fucking sense.
At least don't carry them, though.
No, they don't carry them, but I'm talking about, at least, when you're spraying, bullets can go astray. This kind of... But then, I also thought the scene where Boyd went apeshit...
Unnecessary, I think.
It felt very forced.
So Nikki dies.
It felt very... Hey, you like shooting black teenagers, don't you, police? Or something. It felt very like that.
Yeah, I mean, Nikki dies, and then Boyd cracks up. It's like, what are you doing? You think you can just shoot? It's like, well, Boyd, you've shot loads of bullets before. You shot your wife.
Yeah, look at what your wife did. You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe that gave him PTSD or something. I don't know.
But how can these people not relate to this woman, right? They were all like this once upon a time. They arrived in this town and they didn't know what the fuck was going on. This is a cop. Her duty is to protect and serve. She thought she was she was trying to protect herself, obviously, but she was trying to fucking defend herself and protect whatever community she had here from this threat.
I agree.
I mean, there was no malice in this. I just thought Boyd went complete... I mean, look at what Sarah's done. She's killed people, and Boyd didn't even get, a tenth pissed off compared to this. He went fucking ballistic here.
I don't get it. Boyd. Ballistic Boyd. Then Donna takes him upstairs, and you think Donna's going to scold him, and he's like, I don't have time for this, Donna. But Donna breaks down, says she's scared, and she wants this to end. She's sick of it. I'm sure everybody feels that way. Jim and Tabitha then obviously are alone, and Tabitha reveals that man downstairs is Victor's father. I mean, I think that should be revealed to the group, but that doesn't happen.
It doesn't need to be all a colony house, right? But I think Boyd and Donna should be privy to this.
We didn't really get much between Tabitha and Jim, so maybe they will try and focus.
She didn't even ask how the kids.
Yeah, maybe they'll focus more on that next episode. I'm not
Imagine
too
she's
sure.
oh, that's Victor's dad, and Jim's the kids are dead.
Damn. So maybe they'll focus more on that next episode. Obviously, Nikki died. Morel couldn't save her. Fatima then says she's going to go and sit with Nikki, even though Nikki's dead. And then we see Fatima begin to just poke into the bullet hole, and she pulls out some flesh and fat and tissue and blood, and she's just licking her finger, obviously liking the taste of it. And at this point, I mean, I don't think there's any way back for Fatima.
Oh no, I think there's a way back, right, for eating rotten food. I don't think that is I don't think you can't come back from that. But when you're poking away at a dead person's internal organs,
yeah, I think that
she's done.
I don't think Fatima survives this season. Just don't really see it happening.
And that shows you a problem with this world, though. Obviously, you can't reproduce. It has to be something to do with that. It can't just be, this isn't a random effect.
Possibly, But I still think there could be our babies, one of the creatures or whatever, the monsters.
Yeah, so maybe that's what it is though. Maybe the babies just they always become that. Maybe that's how they constantly come back.
Boyd then sees lights going outside. It's the ambulance. And at the end of the episode, Randall is just like laying on top of the ambulance. He's just left there. Looks like he's been tortured. Looks like his face has been sliced and shit like that. And Boyd looks out, obviously, and sees Randall. So, I mean, Randall has been tortured, but has he been infected of something? Or
there was a bite mark on his face. This ain't zombies though. That's the only thing I'm thinking of. It was definitely a bite mark.
I thought it was more of a slice, because it looked like his face was sliced. But I mean, it could have been a bite mark. Either way, I don't think it looks good for Randall. I can't imagine the monsters have just decided, hey, you know what, we'll cut him up a wee bit, but then we'll leave him.
He also did say there's a fate worse than death here, and that to me sounds like he'll be the first one to turn.
Yeah, I think that for me, there's something going to happen with Randall.
It's weird though. It's like I think Randall's like one of he's the only antagonistic guy at the camp, like proper, not Dale. So to turn him, it's like you lose that element. Weird.
I think they could have did this with someone other than Randall. I don't think Randall's a great character, but I think he's underutilized. I think Randall
there's potential.
I think he could be better. So I mean, hopefully,
he's an able-bodied man. At the end of the day,
they don't want it.
No, they don't want
anyway, that's pretty much it. I don't think we're forgetting anything. I mean that's literally it.
Yeah, no, that is literally it. R.I.P. the two, medics.
Medic. But in terms of episode rating, I'm going to give it a 7.
I'm going to give it a 7 as well, but I thought the parts that were great were great. I don't think the parts that were bad were like awful, but they were slow and disjointed. I think the episode was all over the place. Like you were going from like fucking all out action to Victor hiding under a quilt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for me, the Victor stuff, they should have just fit that in last episode, in my opinion, or wait it and put it into the next one. I get it, maybe from want to have every little location and every little group, in an episode.
And also, no, it was ridiculous as well, though. You had them, like, in the ambulance, like, here, we've been driving for, like, half an hour. How are we not back at the interstate? It's like, surely they must have thought something was fucking off there. It's like you were literally, where's all the traffic? There's like nothing on the road. Like, how do they not realise this stuff though?
True, I mean, it is what it is. And also the Ethan and Julie shit.
Oh, painful. You've changed. Alright, Ethan. Reel it in, son.
Why do we have kid actors? I mean, seriously. Like, you get the odd good one, but I mean, most of them aren't.
Yeah, I think there's a place for this guy in this show.
To be seen and not heard.
Exactly, but he's definitely been heard a lot.
Look, as good as it got for this guy, I think.
One thing we messed up, big jobber, what's he, Elgin? Oh, he's seen the woman. Help me, fuck off.
No, I don't know at all.
Again, more filler shit.
See, for me, the quicker Elgin dies, the better.
Yes. Well, I don't think he will die.
What's Ellis doing? Ellis has just happened to be getting married to the woman that eats people. I mean, that's...
Yeah, it's like, Boyd gets up here, right? He's at Colony House. And, like, the only interaction he has with his son is his son, like, breaking him up away from the police woman.
He's fucking gonna deck him or something?
Yeah, it's like... It doesn't even feel like there's a connection. Kenny feels like Boyd's son. His adopted son.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, lack of Kenny, lack of Christy, lack of Jade. Maybe we'll see them in the next episode.
We haven't watched the episode 5 promo, so, I mean, what's going to happen in it? Are they going to spend, like, another episode trying to get Randall? Because after the next episode, we're halfway through this season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Obviously, next episode is called The Light of Day. But we're giving this one a 7 out of 10. I mean, good episode, but want to see what happens next. And I guess that's only natural, but just it's like it gives you enough to keep you interested, but it doesn't really give you enough to, say that was a fantastic episode.
No, I think it had potential. But I think they dropped the ball in some places.
Yeah, too much Victor stuff, too much Ethan stuff. I don't think the Kenny and Christy stuff did anything for me either. I would have just preferred an episode to kind of focus a lot more on the ambulance and the return of Tabitha. But as what it is, guys, 7 out of 10. Let us know your thoughts down below, and we'll catch you in the next one. Till then, peace. Also, one last thing. Should they not just destroy the colony house? I think we'll make a video about that. I would get rid of the colony house and just put the people that are relevant into other houses, because every time you go to the colony house, say what you want about the town, you've got your own wee groups, but it's like everybody's kind of playing their part. You go to the colony house and you've literally got like maybe 3 or 4 people that matter, and everyone else is just there to take up space.
Yeah, it's like, when are we going to get like a mass murder? Like, you brought in 2 paramedics, right? Who, in my opinion, could have very easily lived, and you could have killed 2 other people. I get it, they're the ones working on the body, right? That was the decoy. But, I mean, I've seen more for those 2 paramedics than 95% of the people at Colony House. So.
Yeah, you just look like that bus driver. What's she done?
I know. I ain't picking up that damn bird.
Oh man, you should be reading tarot cards here, son. Anyway, guys, that's it. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.